Up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will have an Olympic update. We'll catch you up to date on that. We will tell you about President's Day, Mardi Gras, that is tomorrow, and look back on the weekend in sports and get you all caught up for a different week weather-wise. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. He is the five-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the two-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm okay. I made it through the middle weekend of the Olympic Games. I know you said you're not like a huge Winter Olympics fan. Is there one of the sports in the Winter Olympics that you would like to try more than the others? Are you want to be a bobsledder?
Nah. I don't know. I don't know that I really care that much about really any of them.
Ski jumping? You don't want to do ski jumping?
I would kill myself doing that. There's no question on that.
Isn't it weird though how they could just use their hands and like as kind of they change their drag by rotating their hands? You know, they can kind of just fly themselves down the hill.
You see, I can't. The biggest thing is on trying any of them, I just would not be successful in the least, and I would severely hurt. Like the luge, yeah, no, that would not end well.
It makes me always wonder when I see the triple axels and the spins and the jumps in skating. Like, how do they work their way up to that? How many falls do they have to take? And I saw over the weekend that now they have one of those training harnesses where a coach or someone is beside them and they're wearing some type of harness that when they go to fall, it softens it holds them up so they can start with confidence working up to that. But, you know, to do a quad, you have to do three before that, and before you do three, you do two, and then just doing one seems like remarkable, but nonetheless. So B just hung up on a call, so she'll find her way here eventually. The dense fog advisory that we were dealing with has officially expired, and most of that fog has burned off. We're going to see a partly sunny afternoon. We'll see highs in the 50s. And we will continue to get warmer as the week goes. We will be in the 70s on Thursday, I think considerably into the 70s here between the lakes. So we just kind of step up from there. We'll be in the 50s today. We'll be in the 60s tomorrow. We'll be in the upper 60s on your Wednesday, and then 70s on Thursday. And then we'll cool back off a little bit for Friday and Saturday with a chance of rain heading into the weekend. So we'll see 57 is your high today, partly cloudy. 38 is the overnight low tonight, mostly cloudy, and 62 is the high for your Tuesday. A motorcyclist was arrested a day after leading the state police on a pursuit in Grayson County. KSP said on Friday afternoon about 3:10, Trooper Joey Beasley and Trooper Hannah Keeling observed a Harley-Davidson Sportster motorcycle traveling on Highway 54, that's Owensboro Road, without a visible registration plate. The troopers attempted to stop, but the motorcyclist fled. Through an investigation, after they called off that search, or the pursuit, through an investigation, the motorcyclist was identified as 49-year-old Ronald Gary of Beaver Dam. Troopers also determined that he had a laundry list of outstanding warrants for his arrest. He was located and arrested by troopers on Saturday, lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center, where he was charged with 2 counts of felony wanton endangerment of a police officer, fleeing or evading, reckless driving, speeding 26 miles an hour over the limit, improper passing, etc., etc. He was also served with warrants out of Ohio County, and he was served with warrants out of Warren County, and so he lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center. Game wardens with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife have concluded a year-long investigation into a major poaching case involving 6 people. The group is responsible for the illegal killing of several hundred animals, including deer, turkey, fox, and a domestic pet. The Department of Fish and Wildlife says the investigation reached a turning point in July of 2024 when Game Warden Sergeant Thomas Blackwell and then Game Warden Stephen Nelson intercepted the group during a traffic stop. The wardens had observed them using high-powered lights to illuminate fields from a vehicle along public roadways, which is what's commonly called spotlighting. A search of the vehicle revealed multiple 22 caliber firearms, and spotlighting equipment and open alcoholic beverages. Although they initially claimed they were raccoon hunting, game wardens noted no open season for the species was in effect at the time. A subsequent investigation by game warden Sergeant Steve Nelson and game warden Logan Reynolds uncovered a coordinated effort to illegally take wildlife across Hardin and Grayson counties, resulting in 116 criminal charges. There were 6 arrests that were made. 5 of the individuals are from Litchfield. 21-year-old Alan Sauer, 21-year-old Aiden Walker is from Elizabethtown. 18-year-old Malachi Delator from Litchfield, 20-year-old Joshua Stevenson from Litchfield, 18-year-old Bradley Webb of Litchfield, and 20-year-old Madison Whittington of Litchfield, all charged in that poaching case. An Edmonson County woman has been arrested after firing a gun during a child exchange. The Edmonson County Sheriff's Office arrested 25-year-old Cheyenne King of Brownsville on February 8 after she admitted to firing a pistol during a child exchange that took place in that afternoon on the edge of Mammoth Cave National Park. It was on Nolan Dam Road. Deputies initially responded to the scene after receiving a report of a disturbance between King and another woman. During a search of the scene, police located a shell casing, and while being questioned, King admitted to firing the gun into the air after being threatened by the other woman. She was arrested at her home on South Main Street in Brownsville 2 hours after the incident. State police are investigating after a man was shot in Beaver Dam. State police said troopers responded Friday night about 11:40 to the report of a shooting on Crow Street in Beaver Dam. The preliminary state police investigation indicated that Samantha Fultz and Miles Snodgrass arrived at Samantha Fultz's residence where they encountered Billy Fultz. A confrontation ensued between Snodgrass and Billy Fultz, during which Snodgrass discharged a firearm, striking Fultz in the abdomen. Billy Fultz was transported to Owensboro Health. No arrests have been made. Investigation is ongoing. The state legislative session continues. Legislation that would modernize Kentucky statutes concerning the care and treatment of individuals with mental illness has won approval from the House Health Services Committee. House Bill 485, sponsored by House Majority Whip Jason Nemes of Louisville and co-sponsored by Chair of the House Health Services Committee Kim Moser, is the result of years of work and collaboration between key stakeholders, including judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, mental health practitioners, and advocates, and the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. The bill would amend 2 separate areas of KRS. One that deals with involuntary hospitalization of individuals suffering from a mental health illness. The other is the involuntary commitment of individuals deemed incompetent to stand trial for specific violent crimes. A House Bill 485 would give judges more options in 202A cases. Right now, courts once they evaluate the individual, either have to hospitalize or release the individual. This would create a third option, release with needed guardrails to help that person stay out of the hospital. So just a modification to give people some additional options when dealing with mental health and the legal system. A bill adding an additional safety step prior to organ donation in Kentucky has been filed in the House. House Bill 510, sponsored by Jason Nemes from Middletown, would allow a pause in procedure if any observed or suspected change in neurological status or indication of life in a patient or uncertainty regarding the accuracy or completeness of neurological status or death declaration assessments is reported during any organ donation, recovery, preservation, or procurement activity. So that's a long-winded way of basically saying that it would also guarantee patients should not be denied appropriate comfort, care, nutrition, hydration, or life sustainment treatment solely for the purpose of facilitating organ donation. So it was assigned to the Health Services Committee on February 4. So if that issue is important to you, then you can look up and do more research on that issue. Legislation sponsored by a Jefferson County lawmaker that would limit the amount of time automated license plate reader data can be stored has advanced out of committee. John Hodgson from Fisherville presented House Bill 58 to the House Judiciary Committee and told the panel this is the 4th time he's filed legislation on automated license plate reader data retention. It would only allow automated license plate readers to be used to regulate parking, toll collection, controlling access to secured areas, promoting public safety, deterring crime, or to address auto theft, among a few other exceptions. House Bill 58 would also strictly limit the sale or distribution of that data. There are some exceptions in there. If there is an ongoing court case, then the data won't be ongoing court case or an insurance investigation, then the data would not be discarded. But basically, he's saying 90 days, and it does not impact in any way the new law in Kentucky where they're using cameras to monitor work zones and then enforce traffic enforcement as a result of using those cameras as well. So it doesn't have any impact on that. Craig Richardson, the senator from down in Hopkinsville, has filed Senate Bill 195, and it's designed to modernize Kentucky's civil litigation system, restore balance, and codify clear ethical standards into state law, also referred to as tort reform. Senate Bill 195 represents one of the final major policy initiatives for the legislature as the GOP builds on years of reforms that they say have strengthened the economy, improved education, and lowered taxes. Kentucky's current civil litigation framework is outdated and imbalanced, creating higher costs for families, businesses, and healthcare providers. That's according to Richardson. National rankings consistently place Kentucky near the bottom for legal responsibility climate. This reality drives up insurance premiums, increase healthcare costs, and discourages investment. So he says the bill is trying to or the NBA or even on.
Did you? If you were talking to me, I'm sorry. You just went Optimus Prime there for a second.
That's all right. So the weekend started for you on Friday with the Cougar basketball?
Yeah. We were at South Warren. Yes, on Friday. Sorry. We've been on the road so much. I was talking with Coach Jones on Saturday. I said, man, we got to start working on these road trips. I said, we got to throw in a home game or something in there. I said, that's a little rough for us. But we were at South Warren on Friday, and the Cougar boys really never in doubt. You know, they never pulled away drastically, but they ended up winning that game. And then Saturday was the big surprise. The Lady Cougars went on the road at Bardstown. You know, obviously, we found out Bree Jones out for the season with an ACL injury, and they won. And it wasn't something that I don't think was expected. Bardstown has been to back-to-back region championship games over there, and it was a huge win for that team. I know Brian Jones really liked it because the head coach of Bardstown's daughter and Bree are on the same travel team. So Coach Jones and him are pretty good friends, he said. And as they were walking out, he says, yeah, we're headed to dinner with them. He says, I should make him buy it for me since we won, right? I said, you should. You should. So I don't know whether he got his free dinner or not, but it was a good win for the Lady Cougars.
Let's hope that he did. And well, considering the the adversity that they've been through over the last week or so, to see them put together back-to-back wins, definitely good.
Yeah. Really, really impressive because I think everybody was a little worried the season. And, it's not like it's, it just, when you lose your leader and your best player, sometimes it's just, hey, this is just not our year kind of thing. And it's been anything but that, which I think has to make the coaches pretty proud.
Brady and I were out running Friday afternoon, and the thought did cross my mind, like, well, I wonder if we can stay out late enough to go down to South Warren and catch the basketball game. But then when I remembered that the game was going to start around his bedtime, I thought, I'm probably pressing my luck on that.
You could have done the JV game at least.
Yeah, we could have. We were nearby, but we didn't make it. So what's the week ahead for Cougar sports, for Cougar basketball, Lady Cougar basketball?
Lady Cougars tomorrow at Owensboro, but we will be at Davis County tomorrow for the boys, which obviously if you've followed anything about third region basketball this year, Grayson and Davis 1 and 2 all year. It's been wild in our media poll that we do this season. No one has been voted different number one. Every single poll I've gotten in, everyone has had Davis County number one every single time this year, and everyone has had Grayson County number 2 every single time this year. So you get the top 2 teams. Everything else has been a mess behind that, just based on it could be somebody else every other week and so on. But those have been the clear top 2 teams, and they get to play tomorrow night at Davis County, so we'll be there. There's a chance the girls, they had a game on Thursday, no longer had a game. There's a chance they add another game on Thursday. But if not on Friday, it'll be senior night, Hancock County at home. That got moved up, though, so it'll be a 5:30 start time.
So the game tomorrow night that you have is a rematch of last year's third region championship game.
Correct.
And could be potentially a preview of this year's regional championship game.
That would be the hope, I think, if you'd ask both of these teams. And I think probably the hope if you would ask the world-famous Owensboro Sports Center, because they probably want that kind of matchup in that window to have such a big game where they know that they'll get a massive crowd for it because you have two top 25 teams. You know, Davis is top 2 or 3. Grayson is kind of been bouncing around between 15 and 25 and so on. So you get a big opportunity there, and I think the Cougars are going to be motivated tomorrow night because of the really good teams they've played. They've only probably beaten one of them. That was Danville Christian. So I think that they're kind of saying that they've got some stuff to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the time of year they need to be peaking as well. Cats went down to Gainesville and lost on the road 92-83. Tell you the way the Cats have been is, they were down and it looked like, this is going to be Florida's day. But you can never really count this team out this year because they've been down double digits. They've been down, big and come back and managed a way to win. So I never felt confident in turning away. I was kind of keeping one eye on it. So the Cats will now play Georgia. They will be hosting Georgia tomorrow. And that will be the late game tomorrow. So it's an 8 o'clock Central tip-off. So make plans for that accordingly. U of L played on a neutral site they played Baylor at Fort Worth, and they were victorious 82-71 over the weekend. And then yesterday it was a traffic jam of for the first time, that was not the NCAA tournament. I had the YouTube TV quad multi-view going on. I had pairs figure skating. I had USA hockey. I had Pebble Beach, and I had the Daytona 500 all on one big screen, and I was keeping track of all that at one time. So it was a traffic jam of sports yesterday. Michael Jordan's has won the Daytona 500. After an off season where he was involved in litigation with NASCAR most of the off season, they come out in what is NASCAR's Super Bowl, and Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500 yesterday. He led one lap. The last.
That's all that matters.
Yes, the one that counts. And poor Chase Elliott, I thought he had it. He could have thrown a double block in there, but he would have wrecked everybody. But if you're coming to the line and you're leading, you probably are not winning the Daytona 500 because somebody will get a run coming out of the turn. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. We'll give you an Olympic update coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Discover the power of peace with Blanton Electric's Generac automatic standby generators. Tailored for those who refuse to be left in the dark, these generators promise unmatched reliability when the power grid fails. Enjoy flexible financing options and the assurance of seamless energy. And with Blanton Electric, you receive more than just power. You get Troy's expertise and a free quote, serving Grayson County and beyond with Generac generators. Call 270-723-0838 or visit BlantonElectricINC.com.
Thinking about your future isn't always easy, but Sunset Elder Law makes it simpler. Join us at Farmers Feed Mill Restaurant in Litchfield on February 19th at 5:30 for a free seminar on wills, probate, and estate planning. It's planning for peace of mind before crisis hits. Reserve your seat today by calling 270-645-5051. At Sunset Elder Law, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Visit sunsetelderlaw.com for more details.
Not everyone's cut out for the open road. Some folks like the steady 9 to 5. Others crave the call of the wild or the unpredictability of a snowstorm. That's where Youngblood Excavating steps in. If you've got a Class A or B CDL and ADOT medical certificate, we need you for our snowplow team. Part-time on-call November through April. Answer the call and earn $32.50 per hour. If you're up for the challenge, contact Youngblood Excavating on Facebook. Drive with purpose. Drive with Youngblood. Call 270-804-3999.
Looking for a place to connect and make a difference? At the Moose Lodge, you'll be stepping into a place where children find hope and seniors find care. Experience the fun of gaming and drinks while socializing with other members in our licensed lounge. We are inviting qualified guests to visit and consider membership. Be part of something meaningful. The Grayson County Moose Lodge is at 289 Alex Drive in Falls of Rough, where community meets connection. Stop by or follow us on Facebook for more information.
At your global getaway, we're all about creating unforgettable journeys. Now's the perfect time to plan your 2026 adventure. Fancy a Royal Caribbean cruise, a Hawaiian escape, or a magical Disney World trip? We've got you covered. As a Royal Caribbean Master of Adventure, we're here for your cruise weddings, honeymoons, and vow renewals. Trust us, you'll be in expert hands. Visit yourglobalgetaway.com and let's make your dreams a reality. Your adventure awaits.
Fewer college students are enrolling in computer science classes. This year at University of California campuses, about 12,600 students are majoring in computer science. That's down 6% from last year and 3% from 2024, though it's still nearly twice as many as a decade ago. Experts think the drop may be due to changes in the tech industry, where AI is replacing some jobs and traditional computer science careers seem less secure. Uber Eats is testing an AI-powered feature they call Cart Assistant. Users can take a picture of a shopping list and the chatbot will find the items. Shoppers can still customize their list before making their final purchase. Samsung is debuting its latest Galaxy smartphone this month. The company will be hosting the Galaxy Unpacked event, where it will unveil the new Galaxy S26 series and new updates to Galaxy AI. The event is set for 1 p.m. Eastern on February 25th and can be watched on Samsung's YouTube channel or at Samsung.com. Tech Report, I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Today is President's Day. It is Shrove Monday. It is Almond Day. And it is Do a Grouch a Favor Day. So if you know any grouches that, we probably all know one or two. You're apparently supposed
Do I have to
do
do
a
myself
favor
one then?
for them. I don't think you're particularly grouchy, but if you want to do something, do a
it is
favor
a
for
Monday.
yourself.
It is a Monday
Go-
morning, so I
go-
think we're
go
all
right
a little
ahead.
grouchy, right?
Be fine.
I'm sure that Alea was probably extra grouchy too, because this was supposed to be a day she probably had earmarked to not go to school.
Yes, and she's been a little under the weather too, so she was even a little more so. So, I had to remind everybody a couple of weeks ago, like President's Day is not a school holiday. Don't forget, because they will claw that one back. And really, they probably should be a school today anyway. I think those winter holidays, if you come out of the break and then you get MLK and then you get President's Day, and then you're dealing with also the winter, the wintry weather. You probably in the winter need to take every opportunity you can to go to school so that you could keep the school year on track. This was originally Washington's birthday, and then President Lincoln got added, and then seemingly since then, but President's Day is today, so most federal It was initially established in 1879, and it was following the death of George Washington in 1799. They believe he died on February the 22nd of 1799 is what's widely agreed upon. I saw a neat little factoid. There are 94 places in the United States named Washington. So we have Washington County right here in the Commonwealth. And then Mount Washington, we have a community. There are 72 places named Lincoln. 67 places are named for Andrew Jackson, who was, controversial figure. So President's Day is today. And it is also Shrove Monday because tomorrow is Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday gives way to Ash Wednesday, and then the Lenten season begins. So Fat Tuesday tomorrow. So tomorrow is the end of Carnival, and Carnival began on January the 6th, which is the 12th night or Epiphany, or so the 12th day from Christmas. Then begins the Epiphany, which then leads to Carnival. Carnival then leads to Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday leads to Easter. All right, you got all that together? How that falls into the calendar? You made a mental note of that. And then we will be headed for Easter Sunday, which is the first weekend of spring break for this year.
Isn't it?
So
Is it late of March? Like the last Sunday in March? Is that what it is?
I think it's April the 5th or 6th.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's right there. It's in the first few days of April is my belief. When I looked at it recently, that's what I thought. So we are in the final week. But the Olympics are 3 weekends. We kick off on a Friday night with the opening ceremonies, and you have the big weekend, and then the week, and then this was the middle weekend of the fortnight. And then we will be heading into the final week, and closing ceremonies, I presume, are on Sunday, something like that. The weekend got started off with the figure skating. Ilya Malinin, the guy who named himself the Quad God, I saw an interview with him, and he was trying to come up with a social media handle, and that term came to mind, so he named himself that, and then it's what he's commonly referred to. He said he blew it. I mean, he felt the pressure got to him. He got built up. He was doing things that no one else was doing, and he just cracked. Olympic ice skates differently, so he was not.
Weren't there a lot of people apparently falling?
There were, but
I didn't watch a second of it. So
they hadn't been overblown, or they hadn't been pumped up, the way that it was. But I mean, it's a pressure cooker of a moment, without a doubt. And he's a young person. But then you've got kids like the Jordan Stoltzes, who is the fastest man on skates now, the 500 meters and the 1,000 meters. He won the gold. He's from Wisconsin. That's a great story to hear tell. And
yeah, I did hear the story about them in the backyard lake or something, right? Or backyard pond. And I did catch that.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a neat story. And to see their home and where they did that, and to watch some of his strength routines. He does 400-pound squats. And
That's it?
His thighs are about like my waist, which is not small, and so he is a beast. Aaron Jackson came up short in the speed skating yesterday. I hated to see that for her. I will say that Snoop has done a good job as bringing out, spotlighting all the various sports and the athletes and sitting down with them and using some humor. Seeing him on roller skates was kind of funny. Seeing him on skis was kind of funny as well, but it adds, some interest to the games. He and Mike Tirico play pretty well. Lindsey Vonn has been discharged from the hospital in Milan. Maybe that's Cortina, actually, since that's where the skiing venue is. Technically, it was Treviso was where the hospital was, but she had her third surgery, and I think maybe she still will have to have another one, but she was in a position where she could move. She is coming home to the States and will recuperate the rest of the way from there. The United States won and advanced into the medal round in U.S. men's hockey. So the medal round begins now. The men will wait for the winner of Latvia and maybe Sweden. I think they'll play on Wednesday. The Super G went to that Italian skier Brigioni. The tiger, she's got that helmet, got the tiger on the front of it. So she's been a great storyline of the games. A Norwegian skier got their record 9th gold medal.
Oh, wow.
Klæbo stands alone as the most successful Winter Olympian in history after he got his 9th gold medal in cross-country skiing. That's just a beast of a sport. The U.S. and Canada both undefeated and both into the medal round and are likely to win. So anyway, we've got more Olympics on tap for tonight, and we will update you later on in the show on what events are up for tonight. You would, if you had to choose between the luge or the skeleton, would you rather go feet first, belly up, or head first, belly down?
Can I just sit on the side and watch?
No, you're being held, you're being forced at gunpoint to choose one.
Pull it. Be a quicker way to go. Be a quicker way. I mean, I that would not end well. I mean, I guess if I had, like, I would go feet first.
Okay.
I had to, because, but neither one would end well. I mean, they're going 80 miles per hour down that thing.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard enough to control a car going 80 miles per hour down a hill, let alone
and the downhill
ice?
And the Super G, the skiers are doing 75 miles an hour too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Wouldn't you rather be on a sled than on two skis?
No. I mean, I don't really want to be on ice. I mean, that's why, I just want to sit there and watch. There's a reason why they're world class. I just, no.
Do you enjoy watching the short track skating where they pile up? It's like kind of like a NASCAR race at Bristol. They're just flying everywhere, into the wall, bouncing off one another.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Winter Olympics, I think part of it probably is that this time of year is as busy as it gets for me. I mean, I'm in the heat of end of basketball. I mean, like last week, we Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So like, when am I having time to consume it is kind of the thing. So that's probably part of the reason as to why. Whereas in June, July, or August, that's kind of the slowest portion of when things, we don't have as much going on that time of year. So I can actually, if I wanted to sit down one afternoon and watch the whatever it is in the summer, it's a lot easier to do that then.
Sure. Yeah, that makes good sense. And finally this segment, a wanted Florida man told police that his name was George Costanza when questioned at a Clearwater fishing pier, which resulted in additional charges. 30-year-old Josiah Darling was confronted by officers who matched the description of someone with an active arrest warrant from a neighboring county. The transient had missed a January court hearing for trespassing, prompting judges to order his arrest. When Officer Matthew Capone requested identification, the defendant responded with George Costanza. Police used facial recognition technology to positively identify Darling despite his Seinfeld character alias. He was arrested on the outstanding trespass warrant and charged with resisting an officer. What I took away from this was we're on the verge of having a generation of law enforcement officers that don't know the character George Costanza and might buy it. But most of your officers now,
they don't look very similar.
They don't look very similar, but they both need serenity now. I can tell by looking at them. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. The weekend box office is ahead. You're on In the Know.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that begin March 16th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Hey, it's Joshua Horton, Public Health Director here at the Grayson County Health Department. February is American Heart Month, a critical time to focus on cardiovascular health, the leading cause of death in the United States. But did you know that protecting your heart isn't just about diet and exercise? It's also about staying up to date with your vaccinations. The flu, COVID-19, and pneumonia all trigger inflammation that puts immense stress on your cardiovascular system, potentially leading to heart attacks or strokes. Vaccines are a foundational pillar of heart health. By getting your annual vaccine, you are reducing the strain on your heart and reducing the risk of a serious cardiac event by up to 45%. This February, take the Heart Healthy vaccination step. If you have high blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, your risk is higher, making vaccines even more important. Don't wait, talk to your doctor or local pharmacist today about your vaccine status, or contact the health department at 270-259-3141. On behalf of myself and Team GCHD, happy Valentine's Day, Grayson County.
Who did you let down today? Your wife? Your kids? Well, how about yourself? Take a look in the mirror. If you're tired of your drug and alcohol problem, you need to fix the problem, and right now, before you hurt or kill yourself, or worse yet, somebody else. Call the addiction specialist now at the Reset Addiction Treatment Helpline. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll find you the right treatment regardless of your financial situation. When you call right now, you'll speak to a recovering addict who understands what you're going through right now. Let us help you break your addiction to drug and alcohol before it's too late. This call is completely confidential and free. So take 5 minutes of your time and call us right now. We're here answering the phone. I promise it'll change your life.
Call 800-853-0975. That's 800-853-0975. 800-853-0975. Again, 800-853-0975.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-578-3203. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-578-3203. That's 800-578-3203.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Youngblood Excavating Snowplow Team.
Twin Lakes weather. After this morning's dense fog mixes out, we'll still have some clouds overhead through the afternoon with highs today in the 50s. For tonight, some clouds still sticking around, patchy fog possible, lows down into the 30s. Tomorrow, more of those clouds overhead, highs in the 50s and low 60s. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana.
Did you know the Las Vegas Strip isn't in Las Vegas? It's in an unincorporated portion of Clark County called Paradise.
No, I think I've heard that before. Because I think the stadium is in Paradise. Isn't it, Allegiant?
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, that's correct. The airport is out there in Paradise, so you got to go downtown. You got
down
to go
in
to
Muhlenberg County, right?
Yes, exactly. That's where it all takes place. Sin City, if you will. Weekend box office, not surprising. Wuthering Heights claimed the top spot during the Valentine weekend. It's a classic love story. They coordinated it with the release, featuring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi, he was on CBS Sunday Morning yesterday. They did a feature on him with Tracy Smith. And he was an interesting fellow. He's talking about he's quite modest, and so I found the story to be compelling. Wuthering Heights did $34.8 million. Sony's animated feature GOAT got second position with $26 million in its opening weekend. Third went to Crime 101 at $15 million, so that's Chris Hemsworth. Send Help, which is a horror film featuring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, dropped to fourth with $9 million. Solo Mio rounded out the top five with $6.2 million. Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie are both from Australia, in case you didn't know that.
I knew Margot was. I didn't know that about him.
Yeah, they're fellow Aussies.
I don't know that I knew she was. I thought she was British.
No, yeah, it's...
she's Australian. Yeah. Interesting, yeah. No.
Sony Pictures is creating another Charlie's Angels film, but Drew Barrymore is going from cast to producer. The franchise originated in the late 1970s, featuring 3. Do you know the Charlie's Angels story, Sam?
No.
You basically understand. You do not? Okay.
Nope.
I mean, the film came out in 2000, so it wasn't really in your wheelhouse either. But I believe they did a 2003 sequel. Yes, they did. But the franchise has been dormant since then. But in the 70s, there was a TV series called Charlie's Angels. It was Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith originally. Charlie was this mysterious character. In fact, the voice of Tom Bosley, if I remember correctly, who's the dad on Happy Days, I think he was... No, that's not right. Tom Bosley might have been the helper, and Charlie's voice was it the guy who played Blake Carrington on Dynasty? Anyway, I'll figure it all out. Probably don't need to do this live on the air.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have absolutely nothing to help you when it comes to this.
Yeah, John Forsythe, that's his name. Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore were in the movie version in 2000, and now Drew is going to be they're detective women. They get out and they solve crime. I'm sure Sam will bust down the door to get to the theater.
Can't wait.
Law enforcement officials used a high-tech scanner. You might have heard over the weekend that they, in Arizona and Tucson, they were using a helicopter to scan Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. They were using a high-tech scanner trying to locate a signal of her pacemaker. They know the frequency in which it operates, and so they were scanning to see if they could make contact with the pacemaker somewhere. Sounds like they're kind of grasping at straws at this point. And then, I don't know if you've realized this, but now we're a month and a half beyond the first quarter of the 21st century. Like the 21st century, first quarter in the books. And so people are going back and assembling best of lists for the first 25 years of the century. So there have been 30 classic pop albums of the streaming era. That's what is being defined the first 25 years. They aren't ranked, but some of the albums, of the biggest albums, are just from the last 10 years. Adele's 25.
Mm-hmm.
That makes good sense. Ariana Grande's Thank You Next. Bruno Mars' 24 Karat Magic. I mean, start to finish, that album, very solid. The Weeknd's Starboy album. Ed Sheeran's Divide. Harry Styles' Harry's House. Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet. Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion. The only artists that have more than one album on the list, Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift. Billie's When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go is included, as is Hit Me Hard and Soft. And Taylor's albums are Reputation and Lover that are both on the list. Casey Musgraves is on there, kind of at a surprise, with her Golden Hour album. And then, not surprising to me, at least, on the list of albums would be, you have two choices. You can do Future Nostalgia, or you can do Dua Lipa's other album, Radical Optimism. They both can be on the list, but this one makes it to the list of one of the best albums of the first quarter of the 21st century. This is Levitating. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. MP's Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, Chart Toppers, and more coming up here on In the Know.
Ladies, today I've got a simple idea that will draw your husband closer to you. Applaud him. That's right. Cheer him on. That's the secret. Most guys have had people cheering for them from the time they were a child. His parents, coaches, teachers, and his buddies. They clapped when he scored a touchdown or mastered a musical piece or brought home an A on his report card. Now that he's grown up, he's looking for pats on the back from his boss, from his coworkers, and guess what? From you. He wants you to be his biggest cheerleader. The trouble is, a lot of guys come home to a wife who's critical of him. To him, it can feel like he's being booed. You may think that pointing out his flaws is helping him, but it pushes him away from you. All he hears is how unsatisfied you are with him, that he's not a good husband, not a good father, or that he doesn't provide well for his family. And I'm sure your husband has plenty of things he could work on to improve, but He needs to know that you believe he can be as successful at home as he is at work. Your husband craves your respect. He'll step up when someone spurs him on as a father, as a husband, and in his career. Something deep within a man will emerge when you speak words of encouragement into his heart and believe in him. He'll transform. He'll strive to become the great guy you already believe he is. So, ladies, if you want to draw your husband closer to you, cheer him on. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5348.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-295-4682. 800-295-4682. Again, that's 800-295-4682.
MD's Point to Ponder for today. What was the most important store in the world to you when you were 12?
Oh, gosh.
So in your case, most of the stores that were open when you were 12 are still open. All the ones I was have closed, probably.
So I'm trying to think. So 12, what's that, like 6th grade?
Yeah, that's about right. I struggled. I was bouncing between KB Toys.
That was one that came to mind for me. Yeah.
It was KB Toys was the forerunner to Toys R Us before Toys R Us, went nationwide. But then I also really like going to the record store, like the music store, whether they had those then. You go in and buy albums or tapes or lots of various things. So I was kind of stuck between those two things. By the time I was 12, I liked big kid toys like remote control cars and things like that. But they had those at the toy store, so I figured that's probably.
So I just looked up KB Toys closed when I was 12. So
okay, well,
because I was thinking, because that was one of the ones that came to mind, because there was one in the Florence Mall. And then there was another toy store, Learning Express, I think is what it was called, that was by my house, and I think that's no more.
Learning Express, that was toys for smart kids, like learning toys.
It had that, but it also had like some. Oh, I guess it is still a thing. There's still one. Yeah, I mean, it kind of have a focus on education and creativity and so on, but it still had the other toys that you'd want as well.
Basically, today it would be all the Melissa and Doug toys. You know, the ones that are supposed to teach you, help you learn. On TV tonight, CBS has another episode of Survivor. Look back at the previous 49 seasons. The final week of auditions begins on American Idol. I've seen she's kind of gone viral. I've been following her since before American Idol, but Hannah Harper, her audition, she just slayed it and did a tremendous job. She's somebody that I discovered on TikTok just in the limited amount of time that I've ever been on it. She's an amazing talent. Unexpected on TLC, the season 7 premiere. And on the Olympics tonight, bobsled, alpine skiing. I guess the men are doing the Super G, or maybe the men are doing the giant slalom today, because they did the women yesterday. Because Michaela Schifrin, I think her Olympic career is probably wrapping up. Curling is on today. Figure skating. They're doing the free skate tonight in the pairs because they did the short program yesterday. Freestyle skiing, hockey tonight. Sweden versus the women's hockey, the U.S. versus Sweden. Short track speed skating. That's the thing about the short track speed skating too, is when they're hurling across the ice too, if two of them are piled up, they each have a knife. You know, they each have 2 knives that, you know, you could see them slice. I saw one of those blades go into the barrier and hit it right there, and it sliced it open. And I thought, I mean, if that catches somebody's, thigh or whatever, that's
do a little damage.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Today's highlight in history: this date, 1959, Fidel Castro was sworn in as premier of Cuba. Birthdays today: LeVar Burton is 69, reading Rainbow to you. And then these two are a little bit odd. Ice-T is 68. John McEnroe is 67. For whatever reason, in my mind, John McEnroe is older than Ice-T, but he's not. Jerome Bettis is 54. Mahershala Ali is 52. Elizabeth Olsen is 37. The Weeknd is 36 today. Gone but not forgotten, Hugh Beaumont, who played Ward Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver. He was the dad. He was born this date in 1909. Sonny Bono was born this date in 1935. And Margot Hemingway was born this date in 1954. Do you know any of those people? Any of the three?
Sonny Bono.
Yeah.
Sonny and Cher, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Did you know he was a congressman?
I did. I wouldn't have been able to pull that out, but I have heard that, yes.
Did you know that he was injured in a very severe skiing accident?
I don't know if I knew that or not.
Okay. Well, now you know. Let's see.
Painted the violets and the
This is Snooky Lanson.
He put the purple in the twilight haze.
This is the old master painter from 1950.
Dreamed up the murals on the blue summer skies. Painted the devil in my darling's eyes.
When we hear Snooky in this era, we think of someone different than that.
Yeah, I think of Jersey Shore.
That's right. 16 Candles from the Crest, number 1 this date in 1959. Okay, let's go forward to... There haven't been a lot of instrumental number 1s, in the modern era, but this is one of them. From 1968, Paul Marriott, Love is Blue. That came from an album that's called the Paul Marriott Definitive Collection. Does it just have one song on it? Because I don't know that there are any others. 1977, Manfred Mann's Earth Band, which is a remake of Bruce Springsteen's song. Have you ever heard Bruce Springsteen's version of this song?
I think I have. Yeah.
It's not good.
I did have somebody tell me over the weekend that the biopic on him was really, really good. They had just watched it and said, you need to watch it. It's on Disney+.
I wonder why it tanked so bad.
It was our crew member, Garen. He had said that him and his dad, Jamie, sat down and watched it, I guess, over the weekend. And they're both big music guys, and they both really, really enjoyed it.
Garen's kind of a cinephile, right? He a big movie person, like.
Yes, without question. And I think his dad is as well. And obviously both big music guys.
Yes. 86. How will I know? Okay, let's go forward to 1995. TLC. Okay, let's find another number one from the 2000s. 2004, Outkast, number one. Okay, let's get we need Bruno Mars on today's Chart Toppers. Locked Out of Heaven, number one 13 years ago today. And, of course, Chart Toppers wouldn't be complete without Adele. 4 years ago today. Easy on me. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.